Right, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So, here's the video for the third lesson for the chapter of quadratic equation. Alright, so for the third lesson, we discuss a few things, especially for the application of quadratic equation. So, for this application of quadratic equation, I try to relate with things that we can, discuss any business problem or common situation that related to this quadratic equation. So maybe you can start with the revenue and cost, and later we continue with the break even, right? So for this video, we discuss only 4 questions, right? And I will attach a new exercise that you can try later. Right, so we start with the quick example number 7. So the revenue or R of producing and selling X, which is superb tire, is modeled by the equation, which is your revenue equal to negative 4x squared plus 1011x. How many tires need to be produced and sold in order to earn a revenue of $850? You may have more than one answer, and your answer must be round off to the nearest whole number. Okay, so given the revenue or your Rx equal to negative 4x squared plus 1018x, and we wanted to make sure our Rx over here equal to $850. Right, so in order to get this revenue with $850, so therefore we'll substitute into the revenue equation, right? So 850 equal to negative 4x squared plus $118, 118x, right? So your job is to find what is our x. So therefore, definitely we are going to move this 850 to the other side. So negative 4x squared plus 118x minus 850. Right? So over here, you can use either formula of quadratic equation, or you can simply press your calculator. To be accurate, actually you can use the quadratic equation formula in order to solve your x. So basically, if you press your calculator with your x in the mode EQN, so therefore you will have over here x equal to 17 or x equal to 12.5, right? So this is the number of x, or the number of item, which is the superb tires now, in order to get the revenue of $850. Right, so don't forget to round off this number, this value, into the nearest whole number. So therefore this is an approximate to 13. Right, so therefore the answer, the number of tires, in order to get this amount of revenue, you need 17 or 13 number of tires. Alright, so these two things is the final answer. Okay, work example number 8. The cost C of producing X. What is X? X is totally coolest. Is modeled by the equation. This is the equation of the cost, 0.005x squared minus 0.3x plus 18. So the question, how many coolers are produced when the cost is $18? And remember to round off to the nearest whole number. Alright, so given the cost equation, which is your Cx equal to 0.005 x squared minus 0.3x plus 18. So what is your x in order to get your cost only $19? Okay, how many x that we need of the item of the coolers to produce the cost with $19. So therefore definitely we're going to equate this $19 to the equation of the cost. Minus 0.3x plus 18, right? So 0.005x squared minus 0.3x plus 18 minus 19. So therefore you have 0.005x squared minus 0.3x minus 1. So over here, just simply press your calculator by using the EQIN mode to solve your x. So your x will be 63.16667, and another one is your x will be equal to negative 3.16624, and so on. However, since the equation asks what is our x, so your x must be an item. So impossible to have a negative number for your x. So over here, just simply ignore, right? So final answer, your x must be into the rounding whole number. Therefore, you have 633 number of the coolers in order to produce the cost with $19. Get it? Okay. So let's move on to the example number 9. So the publisher of a medical newsletter estimate that with X thousand subscribers, his monthly revenue and cost in thousands of dollars are given by the following, which is your revenue equation is 32x minus 0.21x squared. However, for the cost equation, 195 plus 12x. So the question, determine the number of subscribers needed for the publisher to break even. Before we answer this question, you must understand what is the keyword. What does it mean by this break even? Okay. Alright, so break even is equal to Rx, or the revenue equal to the cost X. Or in other words, when you subtract between revenue and also the cost, you will have 0. Okay? Because the profit that we calculate, okay, is from revenue minus cost. Break even over here is actually your profit equal to 0, meaning you have a 0 profit. But in order to get the 0 profit, you know that profit is equal to revenue minus cost. Okay, so therefore these two process or the operation between the Rx and also Cx will be subtraction. Alright, so therefore in order to answer this question, so break even is equal to profit equal to 0, where this profit equal to revenue minus cost. Right? So we know that this equation, the revenue just now is equal to 32x minus 0.21x squared. This is the revenue. Minus with the cost. Cost is equal to 195 plus 12x. This is the cost. Right? So definitely you have to expand the bracket. So 32x minus 0.12x squared, 0.21 by the way. 0.21 minus 195 minus 12x. Okay, once you expand the bracket or you cancel out the bracket, then you're going to multiply the negative sign for both, right? So therefore we have negative 195 minus 12x, and solve this quadratic equation, which is this 32x you can subtract with this negative 12x, so therefore you produce positive 20x minus 195, right? So over here you can simply press your calculator. If you press your calculator, then you will have this 84.21143, or round off to the nearest number, then you have 84. Over here it must be 1000, right? Okay, and then for your x2, that will be 11.0266, or if you run off to the nearest number, it must be 11,000. Okay, so this is the number of subscribers that we need to have a break even. Okay, Alright, so that will be the final answer. Okay, so the last one for this video. So for the work example number 10, find the formula for the revenue function if the price demand function of a product if Px equal to 54 minus 3x, where x is the number of items sold and the price is in dollar. Okay, so number one, you have to find the formula for the revenue. Then, how many items should be sold in order to maximize the revenue? Okay, to maximize the revenue. And what is the maximum revenue? Okay, so first thing first, let's start to identify what is the formula or what is the equation for the revenue function. Okay, given the price demand formula or Px just now is equal to 54 minus 3x. Okay, see the price demand formula. You know that the revenue is equal to x, or the object or the item that you want to sell, that you want to sold with the Px. Okay, so therefore the revenue equation become x multiplied with 54 minus 3x. So 54x minus 3x squared. So this is the formula for the revenue. Okay. Next, what we're gonna do with this revenue? Back to the question just now. How many items should be sold in order to maximize the revenue? Okay, to maximize the revenue. So if you sketch the diagram of revenue, okay, number one, you look for the sign of your A. If you compare to the standard form of quadratic equation, okay, your A is a negative, so therefore you will have a side curve, right? Side curve. So when you have a side curve, on the top here, this is your maximum point. The question asks you to get what is the x value to maximize the revenue. So by the way, the question asks you to identify what is our x over here. Okay, what is our x over here? So you know that using the method of finding the vertex or the line of symmetry, because you know that this is your line of symmetry in order to sketch your quadratic equation, right? So you know that the line of symmetry can give you the maximum point or the maximum revenue, right? Because this equation, this curve is represent for the graph of revenue. So it's equal to the maximum point of your curve over here, right? So therefore your x equal to negative b over 2a, where your b equal to 54 and your a equal to negative 3. So if you press your calculator, 54 divided by 6, that must be 9. So as a conclusion, you need 9 units of your item in order to achieve the maximum revenue, right? So over here must be 9 units. Okay, next. The question asks you, what is the maximum revenue? What is the maximum revenue? Okay, so in other words, the question asks you to determine what is our y value. What is our y value using this x equal to 9? Alright, so at x equal to 9, we know that this is the maximum number of items that we need in order to maximize the profit, sorry, the maximum to the revenue. So at x equal to 9, you may substitute into the revenue equation, right? Similar like when you try to find the vertex point, right? So R9 is 54x minus 3x squared. So 54 times 9, 3 times 9 squared. Therefore, over here you will have 243 number of revenue that we need if we maximize our x equal to 9. Okay, so the maximum profit the maximum revenue is at x equal to 9, where your R9 equal to 243. Okay, all right. So that's it. I'm going to give you a quick. We'll attach together with the slide through email, so they can try the rest of the questions from the application of quality equation. All right. So see you in the next video. Thank you.